You're watching Shani Speaks Now.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Shani here, your little big sis, and I know it has been a minute, but welcome back to Always Keep the Faith Fridays, where I do my best to take you from your Friday, my favorite day of the week, going through your weekend with a little gem, a little motivation to encourage you and keep you on your way. And I know it has been a minute, and I'm so excited to be back with my Always Keep the Faith fam. Maybe I'll call you all Faith fam for short, but I have missed you all. Thank you all so much for those of you that did check in and say, Shani, what's happening? Where are these episodes? Well, don't worry, I am back. And this episode is particularly just to check in with my Faith fam. It is called Faith Check, and we're gonna get into it. You all will know where your girl has been since Christmas. That is the last time that I had an episode up, which was a really cheery time of year. I enjoy those episodes. But I'm so excited to be back in the month of April, which is my birthday month. So it's the perfect month to come back and to be able to do what I love, which is being here with you all on Always Keep the Faith Fridays. So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode, Faith Check. Now, for those of you who may be watching for the first time, welcome. So the Always Keep the Faith Fridays family, hopefully you all will subscribe if you're not already subscribed and get a little bit of a gem of motivation every Friday yourselves. Now, for those of you who have been a part of the Faith fam and who have been watching, you know that at the end of every episode, we end with my motto, which is always keep the faith and let the Lord fight your battles. In fact, I feel so strongly about this motto that recently, before my milestone birthday, I actually got it tattooed on my arm. And I'll do a close-up of that so you can see. But it's something that has meant so much to me. And for those of you that do watch, you know that I actually did an entire episode about where the motto came from and why I love it. And I'll kind of tag that somewhere so that those of you that don't know can find it. But there's one thing to have a motto. There's another thing to live that motto out. And I have definitely had to keep the faith and let the Lord fight my battles, in a particular battle that I battled most recently, which is the battle of infertility. The reason why I have been gone for a minute is because I actually had to have surgery at the end of 2020. On December 30th, I had surgery to remove fibroids and endometriosis. And it was a pretty serious process only because of the size of my fibroids. And for those of you who do not know what fibroids are, especially maybe for my gentlemen who do not have a woman's body, because typically fibroids is something that's found in a woman. A fibroid is essentially a tumor. It's a non-cancerous tumor, particularly in the uterus area. And depending sometimes on where they're located, they can cause infertility for some women. Not all women, but for some women. And in my case, that is what happened for me. As me and my husband were trying to start a family and wondering what was happening, we realized that something was going wrong. And after going to doctors, for the second half of last year and figuring things out, I had fibroids and also endometriosis, which it's hard to explain that, but essentially it's kind of like a buildup around the uterus that can cause a lot of pain and a lot of heavy bleeding during your menstrual cycle. I know, TMI, but I just want to make sure that people understand what I'm talking about. So needless to say, those are things that I found out towards last year. And at the end of last year, I did have to have surgery to remove them. And it was a pretty extensive surgery. I had to have what's called laparoscopy, which is a robotic surgery for the endometriosis, and a myomectomy, which is essentially a C-section to remove the fibroid. But imagine something about this size or a little bit slightly bigger that's lodged in your uterus. And I had actually 3 of them. That was just one of the largest. So needless to say, I really had to trust God and have faith that not only was he giving me the answers that me and my husband needed for us to be able to start a family of our own, but that he was going to see me through the battle of this surgery and also see me through recovery. The end of last year was pretty rough, and even though I was keeping the faith and keeping it moving, the whole process of everything was just very exhausting. It was hard at times. It was hard on my body, it was hard on me mentally, and I kept pushing, and I really just felt God say, girl, rest, child. Go ahead and rest. These people will be okay. And I even thought of doing a video just to say, hey guys, I'm gonna be gone for a while. I didn't have the time. It was the holidays, things was happening, so Christmas was it. And I went ghost literally for like 2 months, 2.5 months. But that is the reason why I have been gone. But I'm so very excited to be back and looking forward to what is ahead. So let's talk a little bit more about that. What's ahead, and also checking in a little bit with our faith. Now, despite everything that went on, and I'm super grateful, don't get me wrong, because God allowed me to find out a diagnosis, to be able to get surgery, and now to get me through the hardest parts of recovery. And I'm so very thankful. But despite all that, I'm still in the midst of this battle. I'm still in the midst of this journey. And that makes me think about checking in with my faith and checking in with it often. A lot of times we feel that we have faith to believe God for anything until that is challenged and that is tested. But one of the things that I realize that's important is really to allow the Lord to fight your battles. There are certain things that you literally just cannot do for yourself. I can't make myself pregnant. I can't make a child appear. I can't remove fibroids or diagnose myself. Those are things that I literally have had to have God help me with. I find that when I allow him to fight the battles and I just focus on having the faith, that allows me to be at so much more peace. And trust me, all these things and probably a lot of the things that are going on in your life require you to be able to rest, relax, and have peace in someone, and for me, that is Jesus, that is higher than us. Well, that not only have I had this model for so long, but that I've really been able to cling to it and be able to see it come to fruition in many ways in my life in this moment. Now, with all that being said, one of the things that really inspired me is that if you follow me on social media at ShaniSpeaksNow on Instagram, you will know that I shared a little bit through a reel of my story, because one of the things that God really laid on my heart was for me not to keep this to myself. A lot of times there's a lot of shame in infertility and not being able to start a family. There's a lot of shame about having fibroids or endometriosis and feeling like there's something wrong with you, especially for women. We go through a lot of pressure when it comes to those things. And I was like, look, there's no shame. This is what it is. I'm putting it out there, but even more so putting it out there because I wanted other women to know, especially women of color. This is something that affects us so much on more of a regular basis. And I realized that as I shared with other people, how many other women I knew had either been affected, their families had been affected. So I am asking women out there, if you have not had an ultrasound, if there's something going on, you've had really, really terrible menstrual cycles, please, please, please be sure to advocate for yourself. Go check in with the OBGYN or even just talk to your primary care doctor to get a referral and get those things checked out, because for years I went through a lot of pain not realizing that there was something wrong until I was trying to start a family. And I'm grateful that God allowed me to figure it out, but it's a lot of pain and a lot of years that probably could have been avoided if I had the opportunity to know something a little bit sooner. But you know what? I am beyond hopeful. I know that I'm going to be a mother one day. I know that I'm going to have a family because I trust God. Even if it's something I don't see yet, I know that it's on the horizon for me. And that is one of the things about checking in with your faith, is being able to see the things that aren't seen yet. That's really what faith is. It's believing in something that you haven't seen, but having the assurance that you know that you know that you know that it's there. Mike Todd has a whole series that he called Crazy Faith. Crazier Faith was another part of the series, and he has a book called Crazy Faith. But that's one of the things. It's not crazy until it happens. And right now it sounds crazy, but I'm believing that it won't be crazy. And let me tell y'all just how crazy I am. Your girl is praying for twins. I said it. I'm going to put it out in the atmosphere. But yes, it's not crazy, hey, until you put it out there. So just believe that whatever it is that you are asking God for, even if it's something that you don't see right now, it's very possible. And be encouraged. I know that he is working things out in my life, and I know I'm not the only one who has things going on in their lives. So believe and trust him that whatever it is that is going on in your life, he's working it out for you as well. So what's this week's faith fact? This week's faith fact is faith isn't faith until it is all you're standing on. There are going to be times and situations in life that you simply cannot find the answers. You are not the one. You can't go to someone else. You can't ask any questions. You can't figure it out. You literally are going to have to rely on your faith and rely on God to allow it to happen for you. But I promise that when it is the only thing that you're standing on, you also can rest in assurance that God is taking care of it for you, and that he truly is fighting your battle for you. So I hope that this check-in has, one, let you know where your girl has been, and two, given you some encouragement for whatever battles you may have going on in your life, and also allowed you to do a little bit of a faith check of your own. Well, that is it for this week's episode. I'm so excited to be back. Whoop, whoop. Hey, whoop, whoop. Sorry. I'm just excited, okay? That's all I can say right now. I also want to be sure that I thank all of you that did know about my procedure or possibly found out from my post and either sent words of encouragement or prayed for me or were supportive during the time I was recovering. I'm truly, truly grateful for you, and I pray lots and lots of blessings go your way. And that's it. As I always say, always keep the faith and let the Lord fight your battles. Until next time, peace.
Want to get a dose of motivation every Friday? Well, hit that notification button to subscribe so you never miss out. And feel free to share the encouragement with a friend. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram at ShaniSpeaksNow and keep the good vibes going week long. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next Friday.